In a small town nestled in the woods, there was a quaint little antique shop run by an elderly woman named Agnes. She had a vast collection of unique and eerie items, but there was one that stood out among the rest, a porcelain doll with hauntingly realistic blue eyes. Agnes had acquired the doll from an estate sale many years ago, but she could never bring herself to sell it. She had heard rumors of its dark history, and some said it was cursed. However, Agnes dismissed these claims as mere superstitions. One day, a young woman named Emily entered the shop. She was drawn to the doll's piercing blue eyes and decided to purchase it, despite Agnes' warning that it might not be a good idea. Emily was captivated by the doll's beauty and took it home with her. That night, as Emily lay in bed, she heard faint giggling coming from the doll. She dismissed it as her imagination, but the next day, she found the doll in a different spot from where she had left it. Emily brushed it off, thinking she must have moved it herself in her sleep. But as days went by, strange occurrences became more frequent. Emily would hear the doll giggling at night, and sometimes she would find it in different rooms of her house, facing her with its unblinking blue eyes. Emily's once peaceful home became filled with an eerie atmosphere. She began having vivid nightmares, and her health started to decline. She couldn't explain the unsettling feeling that the doll was watching her. One night, Emily woke up to find the doll sitting at the edge of her bed, staring at her with a malevolent grin. Terrified, she grabbed the doll and threw it into a box, locking it away in her basement. But the doll's presence continued to haunt Emily. She would hear its laughter echoing through the house, and sometimes she would catch glimpses of its shadow lurking in the corners of her vision. Unable to bear it any longer, Emily decided to return the doll to Agnes' shop. As she handed it back to the old woman, Agnes looked at her with a knowing gaze and told her that the doll had a dark past. Legend had it that the doll was possessed by the spirit of a little girl who had died tragically many years ago. The doll had been passed down through generations, bringing misfortune to anyone who possessed it. Emily left the shop, relieved to be rid of the doll, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched. As she walked home, she glanced back at the shop window, and there, staring out at her with its piercing blue eyes, was the haunted doll, grinning wickedly.